Hello, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to go through Guitar Pro 8, which is a program I use to transcribe music, which is a great program. Good for transcribing, also good for downloading sheet music online that you can open, and it will give you notation for guitar, piano, bass, drums, whatever is written. Okay, so you can see my screen. I just opened it up and it opens up to this nice, this is Guitar Pro 8. It opens up to this nice files. So like a list of files that are saved from my documents folder that I have set up for my Guitar Pro tabs. A lot of them are other bands, stuff that I like, Dream Theater, Billy Joel. Like sometimes I'll take like a Billy Joel song, for example, that's mainly piano, and I'll rearrange it myself using what's here to kind of simplify and make save me a lot of time. But I'll end up changing the arrangements, and then I can work with what's already here as long as it's not horrible. But most of the stuff that you find on I use a website called Ultimate Guitar to find stuff to use for Guitar Pro 8. They also have their own library that you can, I believe you subscribe to it. I have not done that, so I haven't even done the free trial. I use Ultimate Guitar. It's a great website. This video is in no way sponsored by Guitar Pro 8 or Ultimate Guitar. It's just a couple sites I like to use to get some stuff. So, but if I'm doing my own music, what I tend to do is I might go to open a file or new file. So if it's something I've been working on, so if I go to open file, you'll see some of the stuff I've been working on. So I started working on this solo guitar album that I actually recorded years ago. And since I'm in this kick now of making old music sound better, I started reworking some of the old stuff, old guitar stuff. And I might even add some tracks to it or whatever just for fun. But so I can go into any of my stuff. I have, let's see, I have Hereafter music that I've been working on. So if I open up one of these songs, these are the actual MP3s. So I'm not just notating, I'm also recording the stuff in Logic Pro. So if I open this track up, it's called Anthem, and naturally it sounds like an anthem. That's hence the name. It's a good program in the sense that you can set everything up the way you need to. It'll play it back for you as MIDI. You can open it up like this to full screen, and you have the full tab right there. It's not a long song, it's just a little intro. And like if you want to hear it, just hit the old space bar. So you get the idea. It does the bends really cool and everything. So it's a really good program with that. So the only thing is you have to make sure that you save. The only issue I've had with this program so far is if I leave it open for a while. Let's say I'm working on a project. I'm just like going along, and then I have to go upstairs to, let's say, eat dinner. Okay. So I go away for like maybe a half hour and come back down. And I get started on working on it again. I've left it open. What tends to happen is it stops responding. I don't know why. Just this program, if I leave it open for a long period of time, and then you could lose everything that you worked on. So it's most important thing, and you'll learn this through anything you do. Always save your files before you step away, because you never know what's going to happen. Your computer could crash while you're away. I mean, anything could happen. So always save your stuff, back up your stuff. Anyways, so that's really the only issue I've had with it, was it stops responding after a certain period of time. But yeah, you can see you can do multiple tracks. I have a lead guitar. I have the rhythm. I have the second lead, which I guess like harmonies. I have a rhythm guitar track, which is again just single notes, but instead of chords. I can add drums, I can add bass. It's really cool. So once you set up the first track, let's say I start with rhythm, right? Because rhythm's relatively simple. I get this recorded. You can, of course, just like any mixer, you can solo if you want to just hear the rhythm guitar part. So let's say like you're learning a song, You can open up the song that you want to learn, and you can just solo the part you're trying to learn. Let's say the rhythm is just kind of throwing you off. You could solo it, you can hear it by itself, and then you can slowly work on it, or you can play along with it. You can do it, you can slow it down. It's really awesome program. You can slow down the tempo. You can even set a metronome click to it so you can hear it with the click. Here's the click so you can hear it. All right, it's good for, if you're working out stuff, or if you're just transcribing something that you're listening to. Let's say like you're transcribing it and you're just not sure about the rhythms. You can kind of play around with it in here and figure it out that way, because it'll play it back for you. You can hear it, or you can pick up a guitar and sit there and work it out. You got the clicks too. That helps. You can adjust the volume of the metronome. You can make it visual. You can have it count in. It does a lot of stuff. You could set up a chord track if you just want to notate the chords instead of actually having tablature. They always give you the tablature and the notation, which is nice too. I'm pretty sure you could turn it off, but there's no reason to. There's a lot of little things you can do. On the side here, you have your information, like the title of the song. So whatever I type in there, it will change up here. I wrote it, so that's me. And then you get more stuff. So you can even put the album it was written for. If you have words, you can put who wrote the words. You can put who wrote the music if it was someone different. You can write your copyright, who transcribed it. If you did it, it would be you. And then any other notes and instructions you want to put in there. It's really cool. It's a really good program. It really is. I forget how much it is. I think I got it on sale because I had Guitar Pro 7, and then when they upgraded, they give you an upgrade deal. It's a lot cheaper, but I think it's like $60 program. It's totally worth it if you're into notation and you notate your stuff. You can save it as a PDF file. You can go into the file, export it. You can export it as any of these. You can even export the MIDI out of it. This is how actually I do. I'll start a lot of the covers that I do. I'll find the notation. I'll export the MIDI out of it, pop the MIDI into Logic Pro, and then re-record certain instruments over. Like the bass, I'll re-record. I'll re-record guitars, and like if it has like string sounds in the background, a lot of times I'll go through. I did a video on this, but I'll go through it. I'll listen to it, and sometimes I'll adjust things. Like if the notes, sometimes the notes aren't 100% accurate. You have to realize these are usually transcribed by people like you and me who are not the people who, well, this song I wrote, but who are not the people who wrote the original songs, and we're just listening to it and learning it by ear, and then we're notating it to share it with everybody. It kind of makes, it's a wonderful thing to do because it really helps other musicians who are trying to learn songs that they don't have to sit there and do all this too. It's great to create a library and have a lot of this stuff out there. So it's nice to add to it. I've put some stuff on Ultimate Guitar, not my stuff. Just I did a transcription of Europe, the band Europe who did Final Countdown, but I transcribed a song called Towers Callin'. I love the guitar solo in that song. It's very melodic. Key Marcello is an amazing guitar player. It was a very melodic solo. I can actually probably find it because I notated it, like I said. Let me see. I don't know if I have it under here. It might be under... I have so many folders. That's the problem. Yeah, this is the regular one. Europe. So if I go to open file, I can find it. It is under... Let's type it in. Towers Callin'. Oh, there it was. The solo. So I did transcribe the solo, and then I transcribed the whole song. I transcribed the drum part, the bass, the guitar. I think I did the keyboard. There's some keyboards in there. Let's try the solo, see what happens. Yeah, it's literally just, I started doing the solo originally. Yeah, it's not accurate, but that was how I started doing it, and then I was like, I'm just going to start from the beginning, and I ended up transcribing the whole song, and then I uploaded it to Ultimate Guitar. Let me see. Let's find that guy. My transcriptions, there it is, probably. I did Touch and Go, that's another one, because I did my own recording of it, my own arrangement of it, where I didn't use just keyboard. If you've ever heard the song Touch and Go, it's by Emerson, Lake, and Powell, not Palmer. It was like an off. It was like one album they put out with a different drummer, and I grew up with that tape because my brother-in-law had it and he let me borrow it, and I loved it. And that song was just like awesome. So more recently, well, within the last couple of years, my friend John and I decided that we wanted to find a song that just kind of like cover for fun. And I picked that one because I was like, oh, I used to love that song. And then I just remember the keyboard intro being so cool. And so I even did the drums and everything in this. It wasn't a lot, but so you could hear it. So I did this keyboard part on the guitar. I thought it'd be cool to, instead of keyboards, just play it. You can hear it. So there you go. So I transcribed that. I figured it out on guitar, and then I notated it. And you can see that, okay, this is an issue that some people run into with Guitar Pro 8. You see here how the notes get kind of jumbled together. When I did this, I was kind of new to using Guitar Pro. I actually know how to fix this now, so I can show you. If you go into View, and then you go to Design Mode. There you go. You can actually take a measure off of the bar, off the line, like this. Boop. And it will stretch it out, see? Now I have 3 down here. And they don't look too jumbled here, but I can literally make it 2 again, and it spaces it out nicely. And then we're good there. And then, so I can go through the whole song like that. You just have to remember, as you're doing it, you're pushing a measure off to the next line, which of course is making the song not longer in time, but longer on the page. So you're taking up more space on the page. So if your song was 3 pages before, it could then be 4 pages by pushing some of these out. Right now, it's only 4 pages long. So as I go through, if I decide that, oh, hey, there's 3 here, I want to make it 2, I start pushing these off like this. Next thing I know, I'm still on 4 pages, so that's good. But in no time, by the time I get to the end here, it will probably be 5 pages. So, but you know, it's not terrible. Yeah, now we're at 5 pages. But again, like, it gives me the space. It makes it easier to read. You know, when the notes are jumbled together like that, sometimes when you're playing, it could mess you up. Especially someone like me who visually I need to see it. I need to see it a little bit more spaced out. When they're close together like that, the numbers kind of jumble together, almost like a dyslexia kind of thing. But so that's a nice thing that you can do with the design mode. You can spread the stuff out. It doesn't have to be a song that you're transcribing. It could be one that you found on Ultimate Guitar, and just the spacing's too tight and you want to spread it out, just easier to see. You can just open up design mode and just move the measure. So it's nice. And it doesn't do anything other than literally just put that measure into the next line so that it doesn't spread it. It spreads it out a little bit. So that's it. And then, you know, I added the drums, which again, there's not that much, but you want to hear it. That's what it sounds like. You get the idea. Pretty cool. Yeah, so that's Guitar Pro 8. I use it for pretty much everything that I do for notation. I'll save it because I did make some edits. So yes, I'm going to replace it. All right, and then I'll close it. You can close it right here. There's a little X. You don't have to go to File, Close. You can, you know, and there's probably a shortcut too. But yeah, I mean, when I do most of the stuff, like, it's great to, if you want to make a backing track, let's say you just want to make your own like guitar playlist. I just want to like practice playing these songs. Like, I love this song Hocus Pocus by Gary Hoey. I grew up with that. However, I don't think anybody has notated the full band. I think mostly what I found was a guitar track. So we have somebody, yeah, this one has like 4 guitars. So there's the rhythm, there's the lead, and then there's like some of the extra stuff. So the guitar part somebody notated, which was awesome, and I greatly appreciate it. I think I still do have the Guitar World issue magazine that had this in it. When I first heard it, it was like it blew my mind. It was just a cool, very cool version of the song. Um, so it's cool to have notation of it. And like again, I probably would have transcribed it myself, but when I looked for it, it was there. So I don't have to transcribe it myself. I can take this transcription, and if there's anything wrong with it, I can fix it. And a lot of the work has been done, so it saves you time. And trust me, time is very valuable, very valuable. Um, Frank Gambale, great, amazing guitar player. He had this one solo album that I absolutely loved. I think it was called The Great Frontier or something like that. I forget the exact name of it. I have it on here somewhere, but there were some really cool guitar things, and I found, again, the book and the CD are out of print. They don't make them anymore. I think you can find it now, but The Great Explorers, that's it. And sorry, just came to me. Plus it's right here. Yeah, all right. And I found this album when I was in college, and I just remember thinking about how clean his guitar sounded. And I'm like, Jesus, like it's so clean. I was like, it's easy to figure it out. So I was going to notate it. And then I found the book. I found the actual book. I have the actual guitar tab book. And I used that while I was in college. But then I was like, I didn't want to ruin it because I feel like I keep opening it. And you know, eventually the pages were going to wear. And in the past, I've had guitar books where the pages literally came out because I've used it so much. So I found it in there, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. So I don't have to ruin the book. You know, very cool, very fast, very clean. Some inaccuracies, you could hear that the bass was a little off. But again, these are things that are easy to fix. You can just kind of do it on your own. But yeah, so that's Guitar Pro 8. Highly recommended if you haven't used it for guitar, bass, drums, anything for transcribing music. It's totally worth it. Like I said, it's like $60, and he probably updates, or they update the, they probably update the program once every, I don't know if they do it every year or if it's every couple years, but I feel like I had 7 for a while before they updated to 8. So, and you can find, like I said, so much stuff on there, all the John Petrucci stuff, his solo stuff. There's tons of Dream Theater stuff. So if you're impatient, you want to wait to see if they come out with a tab book, you can find all of the songs, and they're all pretty accurate, and they have guitar. This one has guitar, drums, bass, everything. It's awesome. Very cool. Like some of these people that do these transcriptions, absolutely amazing job they do. Also, transcriber Lord Z, was that Z or Zill? Lord Zill, amazing job, Lord Zill, whoever you are, amazing by the way. And you'll find transcribers that do such great stuff that you can follow them on Ultimate Guitar and then download some other stuff that they've done, which is really cool too. I'm on there too, but I forget what my name was on there. It might be Incredible, which was the old name to this channel for like, I think it was the name to this channel for like a week, and then I was like, yeah, I want to just use my name. I also did a version of Separate Ways. I did a cover version of that, which I should re-record and release. It'd be really cool for you guys to check that out. But it was more like guitar than the keyboard. You know, like in the beginning of Separate Ways, there's this really cool keyboard part, which I'll click on it. And it sounds like this. Such a great song. Sounds terrible here though, but it's like a mess of Let It Ring, that's why. So I did a guitar version of it where there's no keyboard, it's just all on guitar. And it sounded pretty cool, and I made it pretty heavy. I think I dropped it down to a 7-string because Steve Perry's voice is so high, I can't sing that high. So I just basically, I dropped it down, and it was easier for me to sing. And it didn't sound bad, so I just kind of left it. Yeah, so I got so much stuff on here. Megadeth, Metallica, Pantera, you name it. You go on Ultimate Guitar, you do a search for it, you'll find it. And if you don't find it, that might be something that you might want to transcribe yourself, and then put it up there, and you get a crap ton of likes, and it's worth it. So again, Guitar Pro 8, highly recommended. So I'm going to put out a video shortly on my recording stuff, my recording gear. Okay, I did the studio tour where I talked a little bit about the recording gear, but I'm just going to do a video focused on recording itself, because for any beginner, you don't need a ton of equipment. So I'll just kind of go into, there's probably a million videos on YouTube about it, so I'll keep it short. But for anyone that is subscribed to my channel and wants some information on how maybe I got started and any tips I can give you to help you with home recording, stay tuned. I will do that video next. I'm actually going to work on it now, so these videos won't be so spread out like they usually are. So thank you guys for watching. See you guys soon.